Just so you know, I got Twitch, and the link will be in the description. I stream pretty commonly, or just whenever I want to. But anyways, let's get into the video. Hey guys, Fallen here, and today I'll be talking about one of my most favorite builds to use on Void, especially if you're kind of tired of using the Girl Falcon shit. This is a build that you can really use with any kinetic weapon or any weapon you really want to, and it kind of works out. It's honestly one of my favorite builds right now. I was using a lot in this 50 wave onslaught. This is on wave 40, just so you know, in the background footage. So this is at a pretty high difficulty. You can do legend mode, but I didn't really want to. I didn't even want to do it at the time as recording this, but that's alright. I always make my own way of making a video. But anyways, this whole build is basically just about creating your infinite amount of super energy, and it's really useful and really powerful. And I was using it especially towards a lot of enemies, and it creates an insane amount of super energy and gives you a shit ton back as long as you're just shooting your guns and just placing down your super whenever you can or in good areas. You'll get back your super really quickly. I was able to get it back sometimes in like 30 seconds to 15 seconds. As long as there's someone creating orbs around you and you're creating orbs for them to get their super, it's really useful. But anyways, this whole video will be talking about on how I was able to use just one of the most powerful builds. This is an insane build. Even though it's slightly off meta right now, there's only a couple of requirements that I have. Is that you may need certain expansions for some of the weapons that I'll be talking about. I don't know which ones you might need, but you may need a couple of them. I know one thing for a fact is that you have to have the seasonal artifact for one of these, and this makes the build a lot better in scenarios, so you can get back Devour really easily if you want to. But if you don't have that, that's fine. That's alright, and you don't have to use it. It just makes it slightly less effective, just so you know. But anyways, let's get to the first section of the video, which is the subclass and the whole super scenario. Alright, so getting into the first section, we'll be using the Night Stalker subclass on Void Hunter. And there's not really anything that you need specifically for this build. You can get Night Stalker Void Hunter really easily. It comes basically for free. This build entirely is almost for free, just some of the weapons and some of the seasonal things. But anyways, getting more into the stuff, we're using our super is going to be Shadow Shot Deadfall. You can use Mobius Quiver, but I do not recommend this at all. The one thing that sucks about Mobius Quiver is that it has a really limited and small time. It's more of a short burst of damage, and it's not really good damage. And what this whole build is about is that it's weakening everything for you, weakening all the enemies around you. It's actually really nice and really useful to use, and I was using it a ton, especially with Deadfall. And Deadfall is really powerful because it creates a giant snare that enemies get stuck inside of and get suppressed, and it lasts for a really long time. It lasts even longer when you kill enemies inside of the tether. Now getting into the abilities, we'll be using the Gambler's Dodge. This is just gonna be what I'm using to get back snare bombs really quickly, or smoke bombs. But if you don't want to use it and you want to use the Marksman Dodge, I totally understand that, but I do recommend using the Gambler's Dodge if you want to cause more weaken and cause more invisibility with the other aspects we'll be going on up ahead. Now for melee, we'll have to use the snare bomb. It's the only melee we have, unfortunately, for hunters. But still though, it's actually a really powerful melee for creating constant weaken. As long as someone's weakened, we can go invisible really easily. And with some aspects later on, we can just go invisible whenever you want to as an option. Now for grenades, I highly recommend using Vortex grenades for the big AoE field. You can also use Void Wall grenades. They're pretty similar. I think they last a little bit longer. I'm not sure though, but they're still pretty powerful. I like using Vortex grenades. I don't recommend using scatter grenades because scatter grenades are really easy to harm yourself with, like just honestly hitting yourself really badly with them. It's not really something I recommend, but if you want to use them, it's your choice. But if you want, it's like a short burst grenade. I recommend using Vortex grenades for a whole thing. And by the way, this whole build will be in the dim link down below, so if you want to go check that out, you can, just to see what I'm going with at play-by-play, and I'll have a whole play technique of what I'm using and how powerful it is and what my whole gameplay technique and the whole strat is. Anyways, going on to aspects, we'll be using the Status Executioner. You don't have to use this one. I recommend using it though, because since we're causing so much debuffs constantly to our enemies, we'll be going invisible really easily. And so let's say someone kills something inside our tether and we don't realize, we can just go invisible by accident. And this allows us to go and roam around. Let's say if we're really weak, we can go roam back to our teammates. And then if we have a tether again, we can go place that tether down. That's what makes it really useful and really powerful. Our other aspect, of course, will be Vanishing Step, which makes this dodge turns us invisible. It's just a no-brainer, really easy way to get invisible and get away from the whole battlefield. It's really powerful. Not really anything I can say about it. It's incredibly useful. That's just what, it's kind of the only thing you can really go with. Trapper's Ambush can work, but If you're not used to using a dodge that makes you invisible on Void, then I don't know. I don't use it. I've never done that before. Anyways, first Echo we'll be using our first fragment. First fragment we'll be using is Echo Reprisal, so that when we're surrounded, we recreate super energy with our final blows. And this allows us to get our super energy a lot faster, especially with in those big ad clear scenarios such as Onslaught, like we're in right here in this background footage. This is Onslaught's kind of hard still. I mean, you can do Legend mode as well. I mean, it's not really anything worth to do anymore. You can still get weapons. I'm trying to get a Luna's Hound, a Blast Furnace. I didn't grind enough during it, unfortunately. But anyways, our second fragment we'll be using is Echo of Starvation, so that picking up a Void Breach or Orb of Power grants us Devour. This is really useful for getting back infinite healing, and Devour is still good on all subclasses. I do recommend it still, but it's a lot more powerful in Void because of the Feed the Void aspect and how it got nerfed back a little bit ago, and it's kind of tough for hunters to survive more on Void, especially and Titans too. Anyways, next fragment we'll be using is Echo of Explosion, so that anything inside our tether, anything killed by explosions or our abilities creates an explosion. And these explosions, I'm pretty sure, do debuffs. So they're kind of same debuffs of volatile rounds, so it can work around that, and it's actually pretty useful to use. That's why I was using it a lot, and it's pretty powerful. Now for the last fragment we'll be using. This is an underrated fragment in my opinion, especially with this build. It turns this build into an absolute monster. And this is Echo of Domineering. After suppressing a target, we gain increased mobility and reloads your equipped weapon from reserves. This is really useful and really powerful, and I really recommend using it because suppression is really common, especially in this build, due to the tether, and makes everything really powerful. And the suppressing is going to be absolutely constant, so we'll be running on really fast, reloading our, let's say if we're going to use like, I don't know, our Edge Transit, that's Void. It's going to go into that with Cascade Point. It's going to be really powerful. I recommend it, honestly. Now, into the next part of the video, we'll be getting into the mods. I'm not going to explain what all the mods do. I will just be explaining in summary what each thing does. But anyways, let's get into that section right here. Alright, so here are the mods right up here. I'm using 3 Kinetic Siphons just as an easy way to pull off my super and get it really quickly with my main weapon. I'm using kinetic weapons as they do the most damage out of everything in the game, just in the basics of it. And then I'm using Kinetic Surge, and then I'm creating orbs on my finishers when I have 3 or more surges on, and not really else I can say about that. But getting into more of this build and the playstyle of it, the whole playstyle is that you're going to be using your main primary, which in my scenario I was using 2 of them. I was using Thorn, and Thorn is actually really nice in this build because of the catalyst that came out in Season of the Witch, where the souls, or whatever they're called, the souls, they create they overflow your weapon now, and it's really useful. So you can have like up to 60 in the mag, which is really good. And Thorn just does a lot of damage in general. You do like 12k per headshot. It's pretty nice. And then you can also use Bad Juju for more super energy. This is really powerful because of the fact of our whole goal is to get super energy. And since we're using Orpheus Rig, which is our main exotic, by the way, Orpheus Rig is going to absolutely destroy content with this entire super and going back and forth with it. Really useful, really nice. Other weapons I can recommend for this build, Outbreak Perfected with Reround rounds from 0 Hour. You can get this from, of course, 0 Hour. I'm pretty sure you have to grab all the quests from 8 of 1 still. I don't know how it works now. I did it when Season of the Light, not Season of the Light. I did it when Guardians or whatever, before the final shape. I can't even remember the name. I'll put it up right here. But I was doing it during that, and I got all of it as soon as I could because I heard it was a really meta weapon. And I just kind of did it all in 1 week as soon as all of it came out. It was really easy to do, honestly. I didn't have any time, especially when the time glitch was a thing. So you didn't have to worry about time or anything. That's what I did. And it's actually really useful to use that. I use Outbreak in GMs a lot, and it actually destroys. So I highly recommend it. Another kinetic weapon I can recommend is Midnight Coupe. This is a really powerful weapon due to the fact of it just being a normal kinetic. The role I have on screen is Firefly, Desperate Measures, or if you want to change it out, you can have Firefly and Kinetic Tremors. I like Desperate Measures because it's really nice and it's a really easy damage perk to use, but since you're not using it much ability spam, I recommend more of the Kinetic Tremors because it's just that the enemies are really hard to kill. You shoot them like 5-6 times. You get that Kinetic Tremors proc to go off really easily, and the Firefly is just that extra AoE you have. Not really other weapons I can recommend. You can use Trinity Ghoul, this Recluse on screen right here, Repulsive Brace to stabilizing rounds. This is a really good roll. I got this just out of nowhere from doing this exact run in the background footage right now. Actually just slayed, and I highly recommend using it. Then in heavy weapons, I don't really recommend anything. I use the hammerhead a lot. Hammerhead with 4 times the charm of desperate measures is really good because, or onslaught, those are really good rolls. Those are really powerful. It's just because of the massive amount of damage you're going to be doing. And then as translate with cascade point bait and switch is really nice. It's really clean. Honestly, I highly recommend it. If you have that roll, please use it. It's really good. It's pretty underrated. I'm using it. I use it in the background footage a lot. It's my main weapon just because I don't have to worry about anything. I can just use whatever I want to use. But anyways, not really anything else I can say on this build. I do have a link in the description yet again of the dim build, and I'll also have a Twitch in the description. This is also pretty nice build. I really recommend using this in really hard stuff like this, and especially when it comes to those high-end moments where you got one thing left and you've got it's like last wave, onslaught, whatever, and you're cooking around and you're just kind of kicking ass and trying to make sure you don't die. It's really good in making sure that you're gonna be fine. You're securing the win because you have tether and nothing is gonna hurt you technically, as long as you're not being dumb with it and just messing around and not killing ads. The whole basis of this build is just killing ads. That's all you have to do, really. I don't really recommend anything else, and it's still really good. It's really fun, and I would recommend using this anywhere, honestly, especially in big, heavy, ad intense rooms such as like Shirochi. That's a big one, I'm pretty sure. And again, it's been a hot minute since I did Shirochi. Just big rooms like doing the new episode ops, whatever they're called, the new episode missions. Those are pretty hard to do. Did it with a friend. It was actually pretty fun. I actually like doing them a lot. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and of course, just have a good day. Honestly, I really can't really say anything about that else. I do want to say though, thank you so much for 52 subscribers and counting, and that is a big accomplishment. And I honestly was not expecting that. I took a little bit of a break, just trying to figure out what's going on. And 52 subscribers, and my video and the two of my videos besides the new one that was a bit of a flop, fortunately. Can't really do anything about that. Those were really popular, and I was actually really happy about that, so thank you guys so much. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll check you guys in the next video.